I'm Jordan.
Hi, I'm Victoire.
Hello, I'm Haley.
We'll be doing a video based around medieval architecture and going into depth about castles.
Do you know about medieval architecture, Jordan?
Well, I know, Haley, that medieval architecture was created because it's the most ancient art form. It's very important when it comes to the places and the atmosphere you want to create, because the architecture of the space helps a lot with the kind of mood you want to have. It's very important, such as churches or holy places, because you want to know the mood and the scene at home. That may be why architecture is important. Architecture is what the process and the product of planning, designing, and buildings are often perceived as cultural symbols and as works of art. Historical civilization are often identified with the surviving architectural achievements.
So Haley, what was the architectural background?
Well, one of the most creative periods that occurred in Europe during 1350 through 1550 was this cultural revival known as the Renaissance, meaning rebirth. It started as a cultural movement in Italy in the late medieval time, and then it later spread to the rest of Europe, marking the beginning of the early modern age. The medieval architecture can be traced all the way back to Mesopotamia and the first civilization. Though most people consider your classical architecture to have begun during the Renaissance, most of the people who created like famous pieces were Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and such, and their pieces are admired today, and people get inspiration from their paintings.
Thank you. So Haley, what do you know about castles?
Well, I know that castles were a big part of medieval architecture, and castles started with the Normans when they needed a building of protection, and they were not in fact used for high royalty like with queens and such and noblemen, but that was later on. But they were made mainly for defense to begin with, and the Normans wanted a strong and sturdy fortress to protect them from their enemies all over England, which is where they were being built at the time. And a lot of the castles were surrounded by moats and big walls to protect them even more. And it is also rumored that that castles were also being built during the Crusades in the Middle East, and they learned that they shouldn't build their castles out of wood because it would just fall down and be on fire. But I don't know what they were made of to begin with, like after the wood. So do you know?
Yeah, actually you're right. The first castle was made out of woods, and it was to protect them. You were right. The first castle was made out of wood. So they learned quickly that wood wasn't a strong enough material to build these mighty castles, so they used stones. Castles were put up all over England to have Normans control. So the castle need protection, so they introduced guard tower and machicolations. Machicolations were holes in the stone at the top of the castle. These holes allowed defenders to drop all kind of things on enemy, like stones or boiling oil. And there was murder holes. It was a hole in the ceiling of the gateway or passage, which was a place to shoot with a bow without being touched or detected. A drawbridge would stop enemies or slow them down. Partisans were all mounted overhanging turned that watch or intrude, and barbicans were forward fortification that protect a passage or a door and allowed for retreat if needed.
So Haley, what do you know about the architectural background?
Well, I know that one of the most creative periods in history occurred. Is that going?
Okay, redo it.
Yeah.
Ready?
Is it going?
Yeah.
Okay. No, redo it.
So Haley, what was the background of the architecture?
Well, one of the most creative periods in history occurred